please welcome to a brand new episode of the Voice of Mongolia podcast. In our studio, we have a very special guest, Mr. Atul Malhari Gotsurve, Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary Ambassador from India to Mongolia. And thank you for coming to our studio.
Namaste, San Bano. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
For most Mongolians, India is a spiritual neighbor and also declared the third neighbor and a strategic partner of Mongolia. So please tell us the brief overview of bilateral relations between the two countries.
As you rightly said, India and Mongolia are strategic partners, spiritual neighbors. Our history is not only of a few hundred years, our history is of thousands of years.
Yes, right.
So what some of the stories that we hear, that some people from India, a province called as Himachal Pradesh, King Mangaldev and his people visited around maybe 3,000, 2,000 years ago Mongolia, and they went back again to India. So that is the story. And also in 1924, the ex-Prime Minister of Mongolia at that time, he has in his book of Mongolia mentioned a brief history of Mongolia, that the Mongolian people have come from the backside of the Himalayas. So our story is not 100 years old but thousands of years old.
Yeah.
And when Buddhism was at its peak in the Nalanda University, the famous Nalanda University, where the Buddhist scholars from all over the world used to visit, several Mongolian scholars also visited Nalanda University at that time. And our bonds through Buddhism, our culture, and one more thing I feel is that we are Asian countries, so we have family values. The concept of family and the values is very high in our society.
Yeah, right.
Plus all the main Buddhist religious places are in India: Bodh Gaya, Sarnath, Dharamshala, where His Holiness the Dalai Lama gives his sermons, and various Mongolian people go there regularly. So I think our bond is historical, civilizational, and even though we may little bit far geographically, we are close by heart.
Yeah, and let's talk about the current relations of Mongolia-India relations, and maybe the first I want to talk about the political and economic cooperation.
Our political relations have always been good. For several years since the establishment of diplomatic ties, there has been high-level exchange of visits from both sides. But a paradigm shift occurred with the visit of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji in 2015, where several agreements were signed and a new beginning was made. So it has initiated and triggered a new impetus to our bilateral relations, friendly bilateral relations. So many agreements were signed during that visit. From that time, we see there are a lot of high-level exchange of visits that are happening. We are also saying that 3 big projects are going on in Mongolia for the economic or development cooperation. So we always say that India-Mongolia relations are based on 4 Ds. One is Dharma, second is democracy, third is development partnership, fourth is the digital infrastructure cooperation. So what we have seen in these 3 projects which I want to enumerate, one is we are with partnership with Mongolia, we are constructing an oil refinery project in the Dornogobi province.
Project,
It is a big project of $1.236 billion. And when the project would be completed in maybe next 2 to 3 years, Mongolia will be able to fulfill 80% of its energy needs of petroleum products. And the refinery is not based only for petroleum products. After that, there can be a petrochemical complex, and it can give more employment opportunities to the Mongolian people. Mongolia can be an exporting country of petrochemicals to its neighbors also. So it is a good thing. Economically also, it can generate around $1.6 billion per year for Mongolia. It can save the foreign exchange. So that is a big project. We are concentrating on that. Then we are building a IT center Atal Bihari Center, Atal Bihari Vajpayee Center for Excellence in the field of IT, communications and outsourcing. So this is in the Mongolian University of Science and Technology. It will be completed in 6 months. So once this project is completed, already the Mongolian people are students are getting trained in the field of IT. 800 Mongolian students will be trained annually, and it will generate a lot of employment opportunities in terms of call centers also, IT, cyber security, artificial intelligence. So this is a good partnership between India and Mongolia for capacity building. The third project that we are concentrating on, building a India-Mongolia friendship school in Jaisan. So that we plan to complete in next 2 years. It is a grant project from India for around.
Is it a secondary school?
It's a secondary school and it's a grant project of around $5 million. So these 3 projects we are concentrating, and I am confident that once these are completed, it will give big impetus to India-Mongolia relations, do capacity building, help in the energy security of Mongolia, and also act as triggers for the economic development of Mongolia. On the field of defense, I am happy to tell you that our defense cooperation is going on very well.
Yeah, we know the nomadic elephant exercise, something like that. Yeah.
Good. So I am happy that you are aware. So you know, we completed annual bilateral exercise, nomadic elephant with Mongolia. The Mongolian troops visited India, and it got completed on 16th of July, 2024. And the next, India participates in the multinational peacekeeping operations called as Khan Quest. So our Indian contingent, I think India is having the one of the maximum number of troops for the Khan Quest. We have 40 people from our Madras regiment. So I was there for the inauguration ceremony. So on defense field, we had the 12th Joint Working Group. Our cyber security center in the National Defense University is going on well. With the General Authority on Border Protection, we are having a capacity building for the command and tracking center. So these things are going on very well. So I am happy the cooperation in the economic field, in the defense field, in the education field, in the spiritual connectivity field are going on well.
I want to clarify, do Indian teachers or specialists will teach in this ITech center or in secondary school and etc.?
Now we have a MOU with the lovely professional in the university. They are already teaching the teachers who would teach the Mongolian students. So already the project is on. Online the teaching is been done. High-tech equipment is been purchased, so the state-of-the-art center would be ready in 6 months.
Yeah, India is one of the best country to providing the high-tech and digital things around the world. And that's good thing. And also, I want to ask about the tourism sector. And the both countries have a potential for developing spiritual tourism. So, could you tell us more about that?
I am very happy you raised this thing. As I mentioned previously, India is the land of Buddha. So, and various Mongolian people, most of them follow Buddhism. So for them, it is very important to visit the holy shrines of Buddha, Lord Buddha. So we are planning to promote Buddhism. You may be happy to know that last month I had a conference, a virtual conference with the tour operators of India and Mongolia to connect them together, so that they can have packages for Mongolians going to India and Indians coming to Mongolia also. And third thing to develop on this front, we are planning to have direct connectivity, so air connectivity. I think once this direct air connectivity is established, the cost of the airfare will come down and it will be easy for people of both the countries to come. So not only spiritual tourism from Mongolia to India, I wish to have more tourists from India to come to Mongolia also. So that is the plan we are working on. It will help to generate people to people connect and also boost each other's economy, Mongolia's.
Yes, also I think if it's well implemented, it's very useful and important for also trade cooperation.
Yes, trade cooperation also.
Could you tell us about our bilateral trade turnover?
Yeah, I'm very happy that our trade turnover, even though it is not commensurate to our political or spiritual friendship, our bilateral trade is limited, but it is growing steadily.
Yeah,
now
it's
it
because
is to
of
the
logistic problem. Yeah,
it is to the tune of $60 to $100 million, and the main exports from India are pharmaceutical, automobile parts, then various components for the machinery. So these are our what I see in Mongolia are there, and from Mongolia basically the component is small of the wool and other products of Kashmir that they are there, which are being exported to India. But the main bottleneck which is there is the logistic issue. So we are working on the logistic issue. Indian companies are interested to buy Mongolian coking coal because it is of high grade quality. Indian companies are interested to import Mongolian copper, Mongolian gold. So once this starts and we sort out the logistic issue, I am confident that the trade between India and Mongolia will reach new high in not too distant future.
Okay, next question is about the scientific, and you already mentioned the IT cooperations, and how about the cultural cooperation? And I know the many large number of Indian literary works have been published in Mongolian language.
Yeah, we know many Mongolian scholars we have seen that they have translated a lot of books from India to the Mongolian language. Our renowned Buddhist scholar Professor Lokesh Chandra has translated the Mongolian Buddhist kanjurs, the kanjurs from Sanskrit and Pali to Mongolian language. So, and we have distributed them, and the new set of kanjurs are being reprinted in India by the Ministry of Culture. So once they are there, they are 108 number volumes. So we will distribute them to the monasteries. So the cultural cooperation will go strength to strength. We have planned to renovate the Bokht Palace. That is also one of our plan to renovate the Bokht Palace. And you know, under the aegis of Indian Council for Cultural Relations, which is called ICCR, it offers around 50 scholarships every year to Mongolian students for all undergraduate, graduate, postgraduate and PhD level. So 40 people can go to India to study, and many are studying. And we know that various high level personalities in Mongolia, they have studied in India under the ICCR scholarship.
We know the scholarship programs, ITEC assistance, and any other scholarships from the Indian government or your embassy?
So apart from ICCR, as you rightly mentioned, we have the India Technical and Economic Cooperation program, which is called the ITEC program. Under this scholarship, there are 200 scholarship slots for Mongolia. So it's a big number, if you compare. And in that scholarship program, all the airfare, the course fee, even the daily allowance is being paid to the scholar who goes there. The stay is also arranged, and there are around thousands of courses in the field of accounting, English language, then IT, animal husbandry, dairy farming. So I wish, I think that Mongolia students can go, the people can go and avail the scholarships.
How do they apply? Is it any basic, maybe complex of website or?
Yeah, there is a, if you Google ITEC scholarship, automatically the first site that will be coming is the ITEC scholarship site. and there they have to apply, sponsor it. They have to give some certificate from the employer, government or private, and then the Embassy of India will facilitate. Or they can contact the Embassy of India also.
Great.
That is also an easy way. Regarding culture, one more thing I am happy to inform you that yoga has been a great bond between India and Mongolia.
Yeah, right.
You know, when I came here, the Yoga Federation of Mongolia organized the yoga festival, then we organized the International Yoga Day. And during the recent speech by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji on the International Yoga Day, that is on 21st June 2024, he mentioned about Mongolia, that how yoga is popular in Mongolia and all. So it is a good thing, and it gels with the Mongolian constitution that health of each Mongolian is the fundamental duty of the Mongolian himself. So yoga helps in that. So that is a good thing I liked.
And our two countries are going to celebrate the 70th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations next year. And could you tell us maybe the brief overview of planned works for the anniversary?
We are working with the Mongolian Foreign Office on how to celebrate this big occasion. There are various plans. The plans that may include is exchange of very high level visits from Mongolia to India and Mongolia. Then we can have big cultural programs, some release of commemorative stamps. So these are the various components which I see, which we will celebrate.
And also maybe the high-ranking visits?
Yeah, high-level visits will be there. And next year, as I mentioned, we can inaugurate the IT center.
Okay.
That will be a big boost.
And my last question is, you arrived here in Mongolia about 4 months and a half, and could you share your impression of Mongolia? I heard you first time in Mongolia.
Yeah, this was my first time to be in Mongolia, and so I was very impressed by the warm and friendly people, very nice. And because I came in summer, my city where I come from, Pune, which is in the Maharashtra state, resembles like Ulaanbaatar, surrounded by green mountains, and in the valley the city is there. So I connect very well with Ulaanbaatar city. I feel at home. So I am liking it, and it is a beautiful country. The steppe is vast, the plain land is great, and exotic country. I think it is a geography wise also and historically also great nation.
And also you will more experience about Mongolia and next coming years.
Yes, thank you. I'm happy and looking forward very positively to my next 2 to 3 years when I will be in Mongolia, and I'm confident that during my tenure the existing bilateral relations between our two countries would be further strengthened.
Thank you for coming to our studio, and thank you for your very interesting interview, and hope your work will be good and boost our bilateral cooperation.
Thank you. Bartla.
And today's our guest is Mr. Atul Malhari Gotsurve, Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary Ambassador from India to Mongolia. Here we end this edition of the Voice of Mongolia podcast, and thank you for having us, and goodbye until we talk to you again.